welcome back to the channel. It's Tahar here. Thanks for tuning in. So in this new video, we're going to be talking about using limited tools to get a job done. The job, we're going to be coloring a piece. We're going to be using two brushes. That's right, two brushes. Not some special pack you bought from this guy and you need this pack. This is the only way you can do this certain thing. But just two general brushes I use for comic and cell shade coloring when it comes to my animation and my illustration work. And we'll be coloring May from Guilty Gear. This is going to be a little bit of rant. If you are a person who plays Kim Copper 1 from Fatal Fury or Blanket from Street Fighter 2, you will love May. And because of that, you are a subhuman in the fighting game industry. But I digress, that's not important. Again, we're going to be using two brushes, that's the main thing. May is a different story. She is cute, but a monster. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Let's get it started. Hey, so we open up the image, taking care of the flatten. I'm using the lasso tool, basically cutting it on my shapes on the face. I like to start off on the face. It really is the highlighted area I really think everyone's eyes goes to. Again, I set up my layers, flats, background, and I'll make sure they have a clipping mask between the layers and the flats. Just cutting out all the shapes and highlights. I usually use 3 different colors. And again, there's only 2 brushes I'm using. One brush is the hard edge, the next one is the soft edge, but I'll go into that a little further, a little later on. I'm just picking colors from one. So if I pick a brown, I just pick that color from that and I just go slide it down to a darker. All right, so the brushes you use is gonna be a hard brush and a soft brush. That's the 2 I use for this style of, let's call it comic or anime coloring, cell shading style. But really, that's really it. You don't need a special brush. You don't need that crutch of a special brush. Just sit down and just, do it. Picking out some little highlight areas. I really like to do this. It's pretty fun when you're doing this stuff. Another rotation tool. I use rotation tool a lot. A lot. So you see this image just keeps spinning? Yeah. But yep, same brush. Didn't change the opacity on it. 100 both ways. And I do use a Wacom Intuos. You probably, if you don't have one of those, I wouldn't recommend a mouse to do this. But if you have like a iPad and you have the pen, anything with a pressure sensitivity, you'd be pretty good. Here on the eyes, just lightly going in, putting in a little detail. So this image, I drew this and I inked it and everything. My standard inking tool, my Sakura and stuff like that. I didn't scan this. I used my phone and I took a picture of this. So all those people out there who got like a million excuses, just take a photo of it. I mean, it isn't gonna be printed. It's gonna be on screen for like 5 seconds or 10 seconds, however long I want to be on screen in the May clip. It's gonna see a little later on. But yeah, just take a picture of the image and get the color in, man. No excuses. Yeah, starting on the hair. I'm just picking out those little highlights. On this image, the light is coming from the right and the left. So it's gonna have a nice little technique. It's gonna have a nice look to it. Like her arm being up is gonna have a little bit of the shadow area going on the side on her side down to her leg. It's like the shadow area, why it's the light from the left and right kind of pushes it. It gives it a real 3D look. Putting some underlight in really helps bring it out some more. And usually underlight is either like a shade away, like for this one I did a little bit of a purplish with some brown in it. So just like it's there but it ain't there, but it it causes stuff to pop. The skull was fun. It was simple, it was fun. So I did the outlines, highlighted the areas where I think the light hit it really hard, and it kind of just popped it out. So it's like usually 3 colors I use: a dark, a mid, and a real bright if I feel in fun. And then I go back in that same purple or whatever I think the underlighting is. I'll do it. In the skull I use like a blue because, you know, being me in the ocean, why not? Here I messed out some stuff, just putting it back on, some details on a jacket, this orange he has going on, and just basically cleaning up and setting it up. Always label your layers. You don't want to have it say layer 560, that's when things get crazy. Switching in between my brushes because I wanted to highlight something. Here on the top part of the jacket I real like them from the right and left. So it's more upright, mid left, that's where the light bouncing off. So, you know, it really makes things cylindrical. Hitting those hard areas of the hat. Back to the jacket, and you can really see this where the light hits, and you know, shadow and how everything pops out. That 3-dimensional look. Just cutting the shapes with my lasso tool, my second favorite tool, I guess. But yeah, the minute you put the color on, the second you put that color on, you can see it starts to like pop everything out. Just trying to get this stomach area right. So using the lasso tool, hold the shift key gives it an add. So the add sign. So when you just keep going, you just keep adding different cuts. Minus, of course, holding control is the minus, and you just cut out certain shapes. But a little bit of underlighting added here. So again, the idea is supposed to be she's skipping up and down the water. So a little bit of blue, a little bit of that purple too. You love me some purple. Just cutting out shapes. Just little light colors, so like a small hint of color goes a long way. And it really brings it on. So now I'm going back and I'm going to bring in the second color, like a lighter color. That really should do it, unless I have like some little extra areas I want to put some little white highlights. Not white, light highlights. But yeah, when a second light source or second light color comes on, it really pops everything out. Putting that underlight, that purple, and darkening up certain areas just to bring it back into space. So you see here in the underarm area when I'm doing it, when I hit it with this color, a darker color really shows it. So with this anchor, I had to do a lot of editing with this anchor after the actual drawing. You see it coming today, and I'm going to show you some of that stuff on the dolphin and on May's face. I did a lot of editing. I do that. I don't really get cemented to anything. Be like, oh, I draw this. I can't correct it. I will correct every and anything in Photoshop or Procreate or whatever I'm using digitally. If I didn't do it analog, basically on the page, before I got, to the coloring stage, I will edit and correct anything I feel is wrong anytime. It really doesn't bug me. Just, because if I just leave it out there and I put it out there, be like, why did anchor look so massive and she looked so weird? I mean, it is a massive anchor, but with crooked areas, straight lines, I try to do. Straight lines I try to keep. Coloring this dolphin, let me tell you, the funnest part. I wasn't really looking for it, but I just knew certain, like that blue, the highlighted blue on the dolphin would really pop out and really bring it out. I purposely, when I drew this and inked this, I didn't put a lot of dark areas because of the character. This is a fun character. May is a fun character. Though I hate fighting May, and I think anyone who's playing May, something wrong with them. But I digress. There's nothing button right now. It's a fun character, and this dolphin being part of Arsenal, you see I try to keep it light. Those white highlights really, they pop. That's what I use the hard brush for. And again, only 2 brushes doing all this work. There's no fancy dolphin brush, no fancy shadow brush, or whatever. Again, not knocking people who make brush and sell them. Maybe one day I'll do a brush set just to see how that goes. This is just the brush set that comes with Photoshop. Procreate does the same thing. Corel Draw, all those of it. Mr. Takamaki, I think that's his name. Very annoying character, but you know, May all about that cute. Again, it isn't cute when she wailing away on you. A lot of hate it, but it's a cute character. So keeping that, because he's in the background, I give him more of that right highlight. Again, he looks small there, of course, he's massive, but he's further in the background. So he looks small again, it's all high stuff. So he's gonna get a little bit more light. In retrospect, I should have blur him, put a blur effect on him a little. But, you know, I got so much other things going on. When I posted this, the idea is when I combine this in After Effects with the motion graphics, I want him to be clear, so that's why I didn't put a blur on him to say like he further in the background. But the water swoosh on the side or in the ball, you see motion. I like to use the lines to help me with motion in a still image. On the little water splash, a wave. I had a really good time with this. Now this one, again, no brush, no special wave or water brush. Just going in there with the lasso tool and cutting those shapes. Just a couple little passes and you'll see it. Just patience, go over it. You know, you can do a test run with colors or a couple of shapes. And I tell you, once you pass it, you cut those shapes out and you just put that lighter color over it, or darker. It really pops it out. Like, look at that light. It's already popping out. I mean, I still do some more stuff to it, but it just pops out easy just by cutting the shape. The lasso tool does a lot of work in Photoshop for me when I'm coloring. Well, this style of coloring. So if I was to, I usually test out how I feel about the image when I cut off the lines layer, and if it looks like super nice and rendered, just color, I feel like, oh yeah, I hit it. Going over the image with the hard brush, the waves, that white area, really pops it out, and a little effect on it. Then going here to separate the arm from the head with the white. Little technique, you know, little things I pick up here and there. Really pops it out. I sometimes use different colors that pop out shapes on one image. Or like the arm, I really want the arm to, you know, you see the arm is like clearly in front of her. Now doing this, I then realize her head is massive, which I will again later on correct. Her head is really big. I am not a May fan, but that doesn't mean I have to be mean to her. So I will adjust the head. Use the purple just for the next color. More white highlights on the cap, you know, just say the cap kind of poking out. All right, might be running a little bit with the white, but hey, you know, it's all about style. Putting a little bit of detail effects in with the hard brush. It's the whole redrawing stuff. I created a new layer for this, and I just, it needs a stroke, so I just actually right click on it, effects, and put a stroke on it. That really saves a lot of time. So now I'm gonna fix this stupid hair using the lasso and the pen tool. If you got no stuff, use the pen tool. But I apply the image, making it flat, bring the hair down, create a separate layer, and then using the hard brush, I just pick the colors, the hair and the blacks from the ink, and just like redraw it. Don't play cute. You always Command Z to delete stuff or go back. And in Photoshop new feature, you can just keep going back, I think like 15 times. But I just redraw it. Again, I don't hold anything really that precious. I just sit down, redraw the whole thing. At least the area I had to redraw over, and that's it. It's just like plug and play. If I didn't do it, you didn't see me do it, you didn't know it was done. Also fixing it here. Need to fix some shapes and colors. And now I'm just adjusting the brightness, the hue, saturation, and stuff like that. The levels, just to like, pop it out some more. And here's the final image on the final animation. And that's the video. I hope you picked up some stuff. I'm always open for comments. You got any questions, hit me up. I'll answer them. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification button, if you're into stuff like this. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Woo!